Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Titan Town. Today we're going to be talking about, are the Tennessee Titans ready to take that next step and be a powerhouse in the AFC? Now, before I get started, if you notice, if you've watched some of my previous videos, I'm in a different spot. Right now, I usually sit by the window, but the sun was like glaring in so bad, like this side of my face was just glowing, so I had to find me a different spot. And I think this spot works out all right. I got a little bit of artwork up here for you guys to see. And fancy wood wall, I guess you would call it, here in the background. Couch is more comfortable as well. So let's talk about this. And I've been trying to get this video out for you guys for the last 3 or 4 days. I've just not had any alone time over the weekend. The kids have all been here, been running wild and going crazy and everything like that. So now I'm here, now I'm ready. And I've been having a lot of ideas of Titan-related stuff to talk about, even some news-related stuff that really isn't getting talked about all that much. So some videos are about to start coming at you rapid firely. But let's talk about, are the Titans ready to be the next AFC powerhouse? Before we get into that, let's look at the current powerhouses in the AFC. And number one on that list, if you're talking NFL powerhouse, you got to start out with the New England Patriots, the defending Super Bowl champions. And on paper, they've actually gotten better this year than what they was last year when they won the Super Bowl. So let's talk about them real quick. And of course, we're talking about the Titans in the future. Of course, they're going to be more improved this year, and we're all hoping that they make the playoffs. They take that next step and make the playoffs this year. But in the future, we know Tom Brady is at the tail end of his career. He's 40 years old. He's going to play this year. Next year, he probably will play. Just ain't no telling as of right now. A lot is going to factor into that. Injuries, family-related stuff, of course. And then he could play the year after next, but that would be as far as he will play. And normally, if you're talking Tom Brady retiring and leaving his NFL team, that would really hurt the team that he's on. But unfortunately, he plays for the New England Patriots, and they're actually coached by Bill Belichick. And as long as Bill Belichick is calling the shots there, the New England Patriots are going to have a fighting chance. You look at it this past season, Tom Brady was suspended the first 4 games of the season. They still went to a 3-1 record without him, and that was with their second and third string quarterback. So the Patriots, they could be good for a ways to come. Of course, when Tom Brady does leave, I don't expect them to be as good as they are now, but you just really can't tell about something like that. The next team is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They actually lost to the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game this past season in the playoffs. Ben Roethlisberger, very good quarterback, very strong arm. Arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL is on that team, and Antonio Brown. They also have arguably the best running back in Le'Veon Bell. But the thing we see with the Steelers is once Ben Roethlisberger does go down, the level of play goes way down for that team as well. So Ben Roethlisberger, he almost called it quits in this past offseason. So if he does call it quits after this season, expect their play to go down, and maybe the Tennessee Titans play can rise up. Maybe we could take their spot. That's certainly a possibility. Maybe it might not be likely, but it's certainly possible. The thing with the Steelers is that the thing, I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied there. The thing with the Steelers is if they want to continue to have high success and be a Super Bowl contender and be a lock to get into the playoffs every season, is they're going to need a couple of things. They're going to need, firstly, they're going to need Josh Dobbs, the quarterback they drafted out of Tennessee this year in the draft. They're going to need him to fix his mechanics, and they're going to need him to fix his accuracy. He's a very smart quarterback. He's athletic. He's big. He's got a really strong arm. So if he can fix those 2 things, that will certainly help the Steelers. That will really help when Roethlisberger does decide to call it a career. Of course, the jury is still out on why am I trying to say Kevin Dodd? I don't know. For some reason, every time I try to say Kevin Dodd, it comes out Byard. And whenever I try to say Josh Dobbs, it comes out Kevin Dodd. So if I make that mistake, I'm going to try really hard not to. But if I make that mistake, just know what I'm trying to say and know what I'm meaning. So if Josh Dobbs can fix those 2 things, the Steelers could still be good for a long time to come. The second thing the Steelers are going to need to continue their level of success, their secondary really stepped up and played really well this past season. It's a very young secondary at that as well. But they're going to need some young talent to go in that front seven. You know, they drafted T.J. Watt. Hopefully he can work out for them. But they're going to need some young talent for that front seven. They're going to need to be able to put better pressure on the quarterback. They're going to have to be able to get to the quarterback. And these older guys that they have are not going to be able to always do that. So those are the two current powerhouses in the AFC. But the Titans are not the only team on the rise trying to achieve that level of greatness. Let's look at some of the competition that they have at trying to achieve that level of greatness. And we'll start out with the Oakland Raiders. A lot of people believe that the Oakland Raiders are the next team on the list to be able to achieve that level of greatness behind the Steelers and Patriots. There is a lot of hype around the Raiders right now, and rightfully so. You have Derek Carr. He just cashed in, making the most money more than any other NFL player currently. A very good young quarterback. He has two good wide receivers to go with him in Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree. And then this offseason, they signed some guy named Marshawn Lynch. I heard he has the nickname Beast Mode. If he can come in and play like he did in Seattle, that offense is going to be very, very hard to stop. When you go to the defensive side of the ball, they got one of the best young pass rushers in the NFL, and that's Khalil Mack. And they also got a very good young safety who could potentially rise to superstardom as well with Mack, and that is Carl Joseph. So if those pieces of the puzzle work out, those are the two question marks. Carl Joseph for the Raiders. If he can achieve his full potential and be that superstar type player that they thought they was getting when they drafted him, and if Marshawn Lynch can come in and play like he did in Seattle, the Oakland Raiders are going to be very hard to stop, very hard to hold off. The next team on the list that is going to give the Titans some competition to get to greatness is also another AFC West team. That is the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, and it's worth noting, have beat the Raiders in the last 5 straight games. They have one of the best defenses in the NFL and arguably the best defense in the NFL. Whew, sorry, getting out of breath going on and on and on. But anyways, arguably one of the best defenses, or it is one of the best defenses, arguably the best. They have Justin Houston, Eric Berry, Marcus Peters, very good defensive, very solid foundational players there. If Patrick Mahomes can come in and be what the Chiefs think he could be when they drafted him, very strong quarterback, very athletic. He has some mechanical issues. They can fix that and come in and be that dual threat quarterback and be kind of like Marcus Mariota. He has a better arm than Marcus Mariota. Well, not a better arm, but a stronger arm. Marcus is more accurate. Athletically, I think the two are very similar. I believe Patrick Mahomes is probably right there with Mariota athletic-wise, but I believe Marcus Mariota is smarter and has a more accurate football, where Patrick Mahomes can throw the ball further, sling it in there faster than what Mariota could. And then Kareem Hunt, they also drafted him in the draft. If he can come in and be what a lot of people expect him to be, an all-purpose, every down back, he's a powerful back, has some speed to him, he can catch the football. So that offense has the chance to be really good. You pair it with that defense, they could be really tough to beat. They're already going to be tough to beat with that defense, but they could be extremely, I guess you would say, tough to beat if their offense can live up to the potential. Also have a really great tight end. Some people even call him Mini Gronk and Travis Kelce. The next team on the list who can present some real competition for the Titans and being great is actually a division rival, and that's the Indianapolis Colts, because the Titans cannot be considered a powerhouse unless they can win their division. If they can't win their division, they can't be considered a powerhouse throughout the whole conference. Owner Jim Irsay of the Colts believes that the offensive line for the Colts is fixed. They believe they shouldn't have any issues with it. And if that's true, the Colts are going to be hard to beat because they have Andrew Luck at quarterback. If you give him time in the pocket, it don't matter who you're playing. If Andrew Luck has time, the Colts have a chance to win that game. As far as defensive-wise, they need to add some more talent to the defense. They got a few solid pieces this past season in the draft. They got safety out of Ohio State. I even scouted this guy, and for some reason I'm having trouble thinking of his name. I'm terrible with names, y'all. It's bad. Lord have mercy. When I get older, it's going to be terrible, I bet. But they drafted the safety out of Ohio State, who I like just as good as Jamal Adams, and they ended up getting him at 15. He's a very ball-hawking safety. Some people have even compared him to Ed Reed. They also drafted Quincy Wilson, a very good cornerback, and I was shocked when he made it to the second round. I I thought Oakland was going to pick him up in the draft in the first round, but they didn't. They ended up picking the Garyon Conley, the cornerback from Ohio State, instead of Quincy Wilson. But Quincy Wilson's a very big cornerback, athletic. The only knock on him really is he only had 1 year of solid production. If the Colts can get a couple of good pass rushers to go along with that defense, the Colts could be certainly hard to beat. And I'm going to think of that safety's name as soon as I get done with this video. I guarantee it. I'm going to think about it. I mean, I've mock drafted him to several teams. I've talked about him before. I've done scouting reports on him. And for some reason, y'all, I'm just terrible with names, and I apologize for that. But those are the three teams that I believe are going to really give the Titans some competition for to be great. Colts especially, because we got to play them twice a year and we got to beat them out in order to make it to the playoffs. So definitely got to beat them Colts and keep them down, hurt them, and keep them on the ground. Well, let's talk about what the Titans need to do. The Titans, so far, they have a young stud at quarterback in Marcus Mariota. He can beat you with his arm or his leg. One thing that really impresses me about Marcus Mariota, and you go through the season and you watch this, Marcus Mariota never makes the same mistake twice. Field position, you have to think of these all kinds of things with field position on certain throws you need to make. You need to think where you're at on the field and if you can take a sack or if you throw it away or if you make that risky call, risk throwing an interception. You got to think about these things in just a split second. And Marcus Mariota really adapts, and he just doesn't make the same mistake twice. They have DeMarco Murray, Derrick Henry in the backfield, two powerful backs, very good. They have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, arguably the best. PFF actually had them as the best offensive line. They have a revamped receiving core. Corey Davis, I think he's going to do great things. He was my favorite, head and shoulders above all in the NFL draft. I even scouted him. I scouted him, Mike Williams, John Ross, Zay Jones, just a whole bunch of guys that I scouted, Noah Brown, just all kinds of wide receivers I scouted this year. Probably about 20 or 30 different receivers that I did scout. But Corey Davis was my favorite. When it comes to blocking, that's something that the coaching staff puts a big emphasis on when it comes to wide receivers is they have to be willing to block. Corey Davis, he is more than willing to block. He enjoys blocking. He'll run out there, put his helmet in the guy's chest, drive them backwards, just push them all the way downfield, out of bounds, just whatever he needs to do to get his man out of the way. Runs really good routes, very crisp routes. Not only that, he runs a bunch of routes as well. A lot of college teams, they'll have their wide receivers run 3, 4, 5 different routes, and that'd be all they do. Corey Davis probably runs a good solid 15, 20, 25 routes on his route tree, which is something that usually receivers don't work on until they get to the NFL. On defense, there's two things that I believe the Titans need to do, and that is, one, they need to add solid depth and talent to their edge rusher position. Right now, Brian Orakpo and Derek Morgan are very solid veterans. They come very close to having 20 sacks between the two of them. I think they had 19. I think Brian Orakpo had 10. Derek Morgan had 9. Orakpo might have got to 11, but I think he only had 10. And I think I'm pretty sure Derek Morgan only had 9. They've come very close to hitting that 20 mark between the two of them. But they need somebody who can come in when one of them gets injured and not miss a beat. Right now we have Kevin Dodd, but we're not sure what Kevin Dodd is all about yet. He's missed basically his entire rookie season due to a foot injury. He did play in the Detroit game when Derek Morgan went down, and he had a solid game in that one. He even got a sack on Matthew Stafford. So hopefully Kevin Dodd can work out, and we can have some solid pieces there behind them. Hopefully in next year's draft we'll find a good stud for that position, because in 2 years, y'all, Derek Morgan, Brian Orakpo, and Jarrell Casey's contracts are all going to be up. And unless two of the three agree to take a major pay cut, which I don't see happening, we won't be able to keep all three, because also Taylor Lewan and Delaney Walker's contract is going to be up. And then the following year, Marcus Mariota's contract is going to be up, and he's definitely going to break the bank. He'll probably, depending on him and Jameis Winston, one of the two is going to be the highest paid player in the NFL at that point. The second thing that the Titans need to do is they need to shore up their secondary. They did address this in the offseason, signing Logan Ryan and Adoree Jackson. But neither one of those two are going to be able to come in and shut down one side of the field, just completely shut it down. And we need a shut down, lockdown corner. That's a very important position on the football field, especially in this pass-happy NFL league. So basically what I'm saying here is the Titans have a solid foundation in place and the possibility to be a great NFL team, to be a Super Bowl contender, to be a powerhouse. But there is a few pieces that they need to make and get. And if they do get these few pieces to add to the puzzle, there is no reason why the Titans shouldn't be a playoff lock every year or a Super Bowl contender every year. But anyways, that's my video, guys. It was kind of long, and I'm sorry it took me so long to get it out for you guys. Remember, if there's anything Titans related that you want me to talk about, drop it in the comment section below. I'll get you featured, and I'll also get you shouted out on a video. 2 more videos coming up. I'm going to release my power rankings list. That's probably going to be coming at you either Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and probably record it now, or I might wait till Wednesday. I should have the house to myself Wednesday as well. But I'm also going to release the Tennessee Titans 2018 schedule. Of course, we haven't even started the 2017 season, but I did get a hold of the schedule for the 2018 season, so I'm going to probably either release that later on tonight or maybe at some point tomorrow. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my blog. I got it linked in the description box below. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. And remember, if there's anything Titan related you want me to talk about, drop it in the comment section below. And until then, I'll see you next time. Remember to stay tightened up, guys.